grouping it together. Can I have an areola reduction with breast lift, or should I have this separate? So the answer to that is, can I have an areola? Yes, you can have a. Oh, look at that! I've got myself on. Oh God, I've got myself on. Oh, that's weird. Yes, you can have an areola reduction with a breast lift. Is moves the nipple, moves the areola, same as a reduction. They move, you move it to a higher place. So as well as tightening the skin, you move the areola. And because you're moving the areola, or the nipple areola complex, you can make the nipple areola complex any size you want. And you usually, to be honest with you, usually do reduce it a little bit, but you can remake it any size. So if you're having a breast lift or a breast reduction, but let's just say breast lift, that's what the question is, an areola reduction is part of it. So don't, so if you say I want an areola reduction and a breast lift, well, that's just a breast lift. Now, this patient has said they don't like the size of their areola, so the areola is too big. And so they could have an areola reduction. If they wanted to then go on and have a breast lift later, they could, but that would be a bit of a waste of money because the breast lift would have included an areola reduction. The only reason for doing it is if your main problem is the size of your areola rather than the shape of your breast. Because when you do the areola reduction, that will make that smaller. Now, some people do a breast lift with that sort of same incision that you get with an areola reduction by taking a donut of skin around the areola and cinching it round. And that's how they do the breast lift. So you only get a scar around the areola. Benelli is the sort of term, as a guy who sort of first talked about it. But it's a circumareolar mastopexy, circumareolar breast lift. So that is a way of doing a breast lift. I don't particularly like it. I don't particularly like that way of doing breast lifts personally. Oh, where's my disclaimer? Oh, I've lost my disclaimer. I should have saved it. I should have saved that disclaimer. Make a note, make a disclaimer. Anyway, disclaimer, my personal opinion. I think there's people out there who do like that sort of breast lift, but I don't. So if you really think the breast shape is a problem, I would just go and have a breast lift. But if it's mainly the areola there's a problem, you could have an areola reduction and you might be happy with that, and then that's it, done. Certainly a lot cheaper than having a breast lift, a lot less invasive, a lot less of a risk of complications because you're not tightening the skin quite so much. And then if you did think, actually, you know what, I do not like the shape, I want to have a lift, you could have it later on, but obviously you'd have to pay again. But if it's really nubbins of problems, shape of breast, then maybe a breast lift would be the way to go, because then that does the areola reduction in one go.